I'm here to talk about our guest of honor and introduce him to all of us. My job has been made difficult. In my normal role, I get speeches done for me. On this particular occasion, I've been asked, and I never got the opportunity to talk to the men. So I'll be creative. Starting from where we left last night, the men that I'm going to introduce to you said something very interesting, and I'll relate it to our current position, where all as engineers, or those of my generation, have been trained to be workers. Here's a man who has transitioned to be an employer of choice. This is the man I will introduce to you, and I'm eager and earnestly waiting to say how has he done it, but I think time will be constraining. But during the course of the conference, I will follow up on the discussion. How can you be an entrepreneur, not a worker? How can you be an investor? How can you own? How can you dream and pass the dreams to the people that work for you? And those dreams are transformed into production. This is the guest that we have today. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor today is Mr. Linos Masimura. He's the, the edge catches up, so let's put additional eyes. He's the executive chairman of La Africa Group and the director of Zambezi Gas and Coal Mine. He's an accomplished businessman and who has come, a humble man who has come from the roots. He's part of the vision of our energy solutions for the country. We're all very familiar with the ZESA outages, as well as all this. Mr. Masimura is part of a solution that will bring stability to the country. So we are blessed today to have him with us, to share his vision, to share his experiences, to be with us. It is a singular honor to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Linos Masimura to the podium.
Testing. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the conference. The last time that I was outside with, I think, with your deputy president, he said a miner is supposed to shout, and I'm not hearing the shouts because you command a lot of people within your organization. So maybe let's start again to say good morning to the miners. Good morning. Thank you. Now I can hear you. It's a great honor to come through and address the Association of Mine Managers. And I think there is a wealth of experience in the audience. Those that have led for many years and those that are joining. But as I sit here and look, I see those that have led for a long time. I don't see those that are entering the race. So it's something that maybe you, the senior guys, need to address. I see those that have got experience of 10, 15 years. I don't see those that have got experience of 1 year, 2 years. Where are they learning if you are here and they are not there? You are leaving a gap. Thank you for that. So maybe just as a short, small history from my side, before I go in my speech. I'm not presenting, I'm talking for today. Born and grew up in Gutu, in the rural areas. Only got to town when I was high school. So I'm a village boy. My first day to be in the same room with a computer was my first day at university, but I was doing IT. So the funny part of that is that our lecturer came through and said, can you type a short history about yourself, save it, go to my documents, delete. So the rest of the class didn't bother to do anything. They waited for the lecturer to come back, but I was busy looking for L, I, until the lecture was finished. I had not finished typing my name. So things change. We are living in a dynamic environment. And I think the theme for your conference this year is that you are in a challenging environment where you have got to adapt. I didn't let that experience of coming from the village define who I was. By the time that we finished university, I think I was one of the top guys in the class for things that I didn't know. So you guys, all of you have come from diverse backgrounds. You have gone to where you are. The challenge is for you to go a step further and be able to leave that legacy to the next guy. If you die with your knowledge, you are just making the cemetery the richest square mile again. All the ideas are going to the grave. So just for me to start, I think as mine managers, there's a vision that you are driving globally and a vision that you are also driving nationally. If you look, you are mining in an environment where the UN has set sustainable development goals. Those sustainable development goals put a lot of responsibilities on you as mine managers. But at the same time, the nation, each nation has also gone a step further and put in national development goals. And I think if you are all on the same page with me, there is a $12 billion project, which you guys are the drivers. So I think when you are doing each and everything that you are doing, you need to know how you are contributing to the industry, because the industry is what makes you survive. Without the industry, even your successful organization is not going to be that successful. It will be a matter of time before it starts failing. So I would also want to give a bit of a personal experience on that. In Zimbabwe, being a director at Zambezi Gas and an investor in Zambezi Gas, traditionally we've always known Hwange Colliery as the only coal miner. Komatsu and maybe Bazem have had setups in Hwange servicing one coal miner. What did it get everyone to? They've closed. They've left those branches in Hwange because it's not viable to serve an island. You can serve an industry. And I'm happy to say now there's about 6-7 coal miners that are active. And the Bazem has started coming back to Hwange. Joy has started coming back to Hwange. It's proof that when you succeed on your own, leaving your peers behind, you are only brewing more trouble for yourself. You won't be able to survive as an island. If you see yourself succeeding quite a lot in the industry and your peers are not sharing with you and you are not there sharing with them, you should know your time to fall is going to come at some point. You can only survive if the whole industry is surviving. So there's a concept which has made a lot of companies successful. If you look, in almost every place, there's successful investors from the US. There's successful investors from Australia. There's successful investors from Canada. There's successful investors from South Africa. There's a concept that they've mastered. The concept of hunting packs. You don't go hunting on your own. You go hunting with a pack. So that talks to your supply chain. If you develop your supply chain fully, you are most likely to succeed as you go. But if you go and you don't feed your hunting pack, most likely you'll come back empty-handed. So as mine managers, you have got the responsibility to develop that hunting pack and let it succeed here in Zimbabwe. My wish one day is to see those hunting packs going outside Zimbabwe for the first time. We boast about having one of the best literacy rates in Africa, if not in the world. But we've got nothing to show for it, besides having the papers. We need to go and show meaningful success of corporates coming from Zimbabwe, going in the region. I'll be putting myself on the spot here as we sit here in this conference. Probably there's very few companies that have been started in Zimbabwe by Zimbabweans, which are running mining in Zimbabwe. But we've got companies that have been started elsewhere, running successfully, being run successfully by Zimbabwean mine managers in Zimbabwe. So my challenge to you as mine managers, successful mine managers for Zimbabwe, is you need to find that transition from being an employee to an employer. First, employing yourself. Second, you employ others. If you can do it for me as an investor, what stops you from doing it yourself? It's important for us to see at least one successful company out of the mine managers in a year. You are all colleagues. You are friends. That's where it starts. They say in investments, there is three sources of investors. The first one is yourself. You have got to be able to invest in your own dreams. The other three are defined by F's. There's friends, family, and fools. So on the fools, this person doesn't know you, is just coming and you have pitched a very good idea that I'll make you 100 Rand after giving me 10 Rand. I'll make you $100 after giving you give me $10. It's a completely different thing. But yourself, you know exactly what you want to do. The little that you have, the smallest that you have got to show that you can do it. I'll give you an example of what I've passed through. In 2017, after having been successful outside Zimbabwe as an investor, I thought of coming back home, seeing that things are starting to look up. I came looking for a place to invest. The first place that I went is a traditional coal miner. All of us, I wouldn't want to say the name. I went there to look for an opportunity to invest. There were challenges that were there. After looking at the challenges, one person just heard that I was looking for an investment a place to invest. They told me, there's one called Zambezi Gas and Coal Mine, but I need to tell you a bit of history before you go there. Why? Because it was talk of town for the wrong reasons at that time. I went in, I looked at it. The biggest opportunity was that talk of town for the wrong reasons, because it meant that I could go in cheaper. Where everyone was running, I was running in. And being a dreamer, I came through and sold them a dream. And I see that maybe Makota is not yet here. My first meeting with everyone, going into a mine which is settled with debts, which is also on a stop. I told them in 3 years we'll be producing 200,000 tons of coal a month. And during that time, they were looking for $20 million to invest. I said, you don't need $20 million. You need a money creator and a leader. That's what I brought to Zambezi Gas. Money came, but not that much. And to tell you also another thing is, the same employees that I found not producing are the same employees that are top performing now. I've not employed even one person. Because I also believe, as an investor, if I go and employ anyone, that person will be loyal to me, but not to the company. If you are loyal to the company, you perform, I get the dividends, I'm good. But if you are loyal to me, you bring me all the gossip in the company, all the problems in the company. And I'll always be fighting, but I'm not making money. I'm in the business of making money, not troubles. So in your team, you need to have the right skills. You need to have the administrators and those that can preserve value and maximize returns, which is you guys. At the moment, for your investors, you are doing basically that. But you also need the money creators, the value creators, those that can give you dreams that will shake everyone in the boardroom. But when they are implemented, they transform the whole organization. After reaching 200,000 tons a month, I had a new dream to say, we are going to be the first wholly owned Zimbabwean company to build a power station from scratch. Everyone said, no, you'll never get the license, you'll never get this, there's corruption in the country, the license will never come out. You know what? In 9 months, the license was out. Why? Because we went through the front door. I believe if you were told no yesterday, that's not my no. I'll go and get my own no in the same office. But when you give me a no, be prepared to give me the reasons why and put them in writing. And I can tell you, none of those people would want to put any unreasonable reason in writing. And also, you can also only demand that if you are also doing right. If you go with your own skeletons, they won't be scared to also tell you about those so that your project doesn't go. So it's important that you have got your ethics right to go through the front door when you want something and push for it through the front door. An example is when I joined Zambezi Gas, the mining license was not yet granted. So I come, I won't say names. Someone says, no, for your license to be signed by the president, who is the only authority in the country, I've got to go and make some representations. Please, let's talk. I said, no, I'm not talking. My own team said, hey, please, talk, because this thing is going to compromise. I said, I'm not talking. If I'm not going to be given, I won't be given. But if I've got to be given by doing the right thing, I will be. And I tell you, this person already knew that our license is signed. It's just on the way coming. You understand? All he didn't know is, I've been through the front door. I already know what he's trying to tell me is not happening. It has already happened. So it's important for the industry to grow. For you as the torch bearers and the people that are leading the organizations to always, in all engagements, use the front door. You will see the industry growing. But if you always come through the side doors, that's the same side doors that will cripple your growth. You won't be able to grow. Then another thing that I wanted to bring to the conference is that the room is full. But I can imagine the room has also been full before your time. It's a sad situation to see mine managers after retirement failing to afford bread, going in a chicken bus. Because remember, I as an investor, he's one of my managers. When I'm giving a car, I'm not giving a car to him, I'm giving a car to the position. When I'm giving security, I'm giving security to the position, not to him. Because the moment he's out of the position, I give to the next one that has replaced him. So it's important for you to transition from that position when the time comes into a position of comfort. And the easiest position of comfort that you guys have got is to be able to establish a mine, which is what you are able to do. You have been running it for someone else. What stops you from transitioning from a mine manager to a mine owner? What stands between yourself and that journey is just your mindset. You are able. You are the one that negotiates a loan on our behalf with the bank. Why is it that you can't negotiate the same for yourself when the time comes? I've said to all my employees, I'm your first investor when you eventually leave. Because when you get a job, what's left is to leave. It's just a matter of whether you leave as per contract or you leave otherwise. So your best investor is your current employer. By being open to them to say, at such and such a time, I'm thinking of going this way. But if they discover that you have gone that way already, that's where the problem is. If you look at our company, our employees have got some small enterprises that are also working within the company. When we need trucks to take our coal to ZESA, we don't start by shouting outside the company. We shout inside the company first to say, we will help you. When we want anything, that can be done. Because we know at some point our employees should transition to a sustainable future. It's not a secret that the pension systems are no longer working. So it's a reality that you have got. Because if you check, there's many mine managers that you guys know who are really struggling now. So it's something that you have got to do. The best chance that you have got is to develop what you have developed for others into an enterprise. And it will grow. Then back to my current dream that I'm pushing is that I said we need to be able to produce electricity as Zimbabwe. It's painful to see that Zimbabwe, with the amounts of coal that it has got, imports power daily. And we have got a high literacy rate in addition to the coal. So we decided to go for a brand new power plant. We are starting our construction of offices this month with our own funds to show everyone else that wants to join us that you have got to take the risk yourself first before you can risk someone's capital. So the same thing, I also wish it on our country, Zimbabwe. I always give an example that a beautiful girl that goes around saying, marry me, will never be married. But a very ugly girl who stays at home is most likely to get married first. As a company, if you go begging for money, there's a big chance that you won't get it. But if you create the little that you have, and you create the impression that you can manage your own money, and you can also risk your own money, everyone will come to you wanting to put money onto you. And as they say, a bank gives you an umbrella when it's not raining. The moment it starts raining, they pull the umbrella back. So you should see that if you don't invest your own resources, so even as a country as Zimbabwe, if people see what we are doing with our own money, they are most likely to flock to us. Going back to Zambezi gas example again, my phone can't stop ringing from the bankers. But before we created the money, none of the bankers wanted to answer our phone calls. And I'm happy that Makota is here now. I'll tell you another funny story. One of the big transporters in the country, the first week that we were establishing Zambezi Gas, I phoned him to say, can you give us transport work? He says, no, I don't talk to you. You can talk to me through so and so. Everyone advised me to talk to that so and so, and I refused. Take it 2 years after that, he's the one who always phones me or my team. We are working well together. And it just shows you that when you have managed your thing well, everyone follows it. And as of now, you are the mine managers. You are running successful enterprises. But remember, you are not there forever. At some point, you would need to also run your own enterprise successfully. And the people will only follow if you have shown that you are running it successfully. And it's producing the results that you would want them to come and enjoy. So, in me closing, I would say I'm very happy to have been here speaking to you guys, and also getting to see that there's associations which are still functioning. My challenge to you team is, I see people with experience, but I don't see the younger generation without experience in your association. Either maybe they are not affording to come, or you have not given them the chance to come. If you die with the knowledge that you have now, you would have done this country a disservice. Most of you, I always listen to conversations from a lot of successful mine managers that I was trained very well by Zimasco. I was trained very well in our days. But now you are the system. What are you doing for the next generation? Are you doing what was the same concept that was given to you to develop the next generation? Because if you don't, it means you have created a gap. Whatever you put up there will be run by someone who is not up to the same standard with yourself. It's going to come down. So it's important for us to help the next generation to move. And as I'm here, I've gone the entrepreneurship journey, and I've moved on that. That's why today I'm saying to you, I'm encouraging you to transition to that at the right time. But as it is now, running the enterprises that you are running, we are very happy. And myself as an investor, I'm happy with the current investments in mining that we have got. They are moving well. My challenge at Zambezi Gas is done. I'm actually looking for another place to dream at. And I'm also happy that I've come to this conference, because I've started seeing faces that I'll be able to also poach one day when the time comes. Because for you to succeed in any business that you do, you need the right team. So I know my position is to dream, but I'm maybe probably the worst administrator that you can imagine. So I know my place. I'll never go there. So I'll depend on setting up a team and making sure that the team is implementing what I've dreamt about. Thank you for that.